Work from home revolution. People of the world, welcome to Send It Rising, episode 367. Google is building an AR headset. That's augmented reality. Very interesting that they're getting in the game. This whole idea that Facebook is just going to monopolize augmented reality is silly, with Snapchat, Nintendo, Sony, and Google all vying for the space. That's the main story of the day of today. We're also going to be talking about Google's Dragonscale solar-powered roof signals, growing demand for a sustainable workspace. What the heck does that mean? Facebook and Instagram are reportedly exploring plans to make, showcase, and sell NFTs. Not sure if you've bought into that craze quite yet. Google team that keeps services online rocked by mental health crisis. There are a lot of problems in tech, mental health chief among them. We'll dive into that story as well. Google is going to set up a blockchain unit, according to a report from CNET.com. And let's start with the main story of the day, which is that Google is building an augmented reality headset called Project Iris. This comes from TheVerge.com. All links to all articles that we cover on the show are in the description. Meta may be the loudest company building augmented reality and virtual reality hardware. Microsoft has HoloLens. Apple is working on something too, but don't count out Google. So the code name for this particular project is Project Iris. They're hoping to ship it in 2024. Creating more of an immersive mixed reality experience than existing augmented reality glasses. Their headset is still early in development. There aren't any clearly defined go-to-market strategies quite yet, but they have all of the money. And so because they have all of the money, there is a good chance that they're going to be able to play in this space. You may recall Google Glass. There was a fight that Google put up where they wanted to avoid the blowback. There's something called glass hole. Not sure if you've ever heard of that, but basically it didn't go as planned. According to the article, Project Iris marks a return to a hardware category that Google has a long and checkered history in. So yes, the debut of Google Glass did not go well. One of the things that we've talked about on the show is that we're going to have a Bluetooth-enabled AR, which means that we're going to take the power of the phones that we have in our pocket to produce the AR that we want on our glasses. They are going to be lightweight and quite good. Eventually, who is going to win the race? We're going to see. According to the article, Project Iris is a tightly kept secret inside of Google, tucked away in a building that requires special key card access. Not at all surprising. Google also released something called Starline. Not sure if you have seen this one yet. It's quite interesting, but it's basically a 3D hologram, I guess would be a good way of describing it. It's created by having many, many cameras at the location where the person is transmitting their physical presence. And so it creates a 3D-like effect, hyper realistic. If Starline is any indication, Project Iris could be a technical marvel. We'll see who wins the race, but Google AR headset is in development. Have you heard of Dragonscale? I've never heard of Dragonscale, but I am very excited about solar technology and our ability to curb climate change, albeit slowly. According to TheGuardian.com, about 40 miles south of San Francisco, 3 futuristic structures rise from the earth with sloping roofs clad in thousands of overlapping tiles. The buildings could be mistaken for the world's most architecturally advanced circus tent. But they are part of the Bayview campus. So basically, they're taking 90,000 tiles to create a solar skin on the roof. Many people are referring to it as Dragonscale. It generates 7 megawatts of energy, or 40% of the electricity that is required for the campus. According to TheGuardian.com, corporations have never been more under pressure to to follow through and make meaningful progress. There's this term greenwashing. So, for example, when ExxonMobil says that they're doing all this incredible green work, that they're changing the way that they invest their money, and it's intended to make you feel better about using oil and gas, that's referred to as greenwashing. Is this just greenwashing? I don't know. I think it's a step in the right direction. In the U.S., buildings consumed about 40% of the country's electricity in 2020. This is from the U.S. Energy Information Administration. So essentially what we're talking about here is people with a lot of money making decisions about their particular campuses. This oftentimes is where these sorts of projects start. Wouldn't it be nice if the poor could afford things like this? But that's usually not how it goes. Big companies like Google invest first. But yeah, this sort of tent technology is interesting. It doesn't look like it should work because the tent is sort of caves in. It doesn't expand out. And in my limited understanding, don't you want there to be maximum sun exposure? But just goes to show that I am not a solar expert. Facebook and Instagram are reportedly exploring plans to showcase and sell NFTs. This from TheVerge.com. Social media conglomerate Meta is exploring plans to let users create, showcase, and sell NFTs on Facebook and Instagram. So basically, it may already be too late. I'm kidding, of course. But, this massive boom that comes when any new technology exists clearly has made a few people quite a lot of money. And now you've got your major players when they get in the game and it becomes ubiquitous. Then, of course, the economy of it changes. If Meta and Instagram are allowing the sale of NFTs, then obviously the game is well on its way to being ubiquitous. If you're unfamiliar with NFTs, they're starting as basically artwork, more or less, but essentially any NFT could be any sort of agreement on the Ethereum blockchain. So you could essentially use the blockchain to purchase a house, purchase a car, that sort of thing. And then there is a public ledger, which is quite fascinating. But anyway, the fact that Facebook's getting into it is quite interesting. Google, team that keeps services online rocked by mental health crisis. This one from Bloomberg. Members of the search giant's site reliability group say managers fostered a toxic work environment. Google says a safe, inclusive workplace is a top priority. There's a gentleman, Chewy Shah. They left the group in April. He told his colleagues in a memo that he had become depressed and suicidal. Quote, "I no longer feel psychologically safe on this team." So basically, any sort of major corporation is eventually going to run into these problems. Google is no exception. And so whenever I see these new companies come out and they're all yay and everything's great and look at our new tech company, we're young, we're not going to do things the same way, things are going to be different for our company, look how incredible we are, and then you end up with these $310 million settlements. Oh man, yikes. But yeah, in 2017, engineer James Damore fired off a manifesto dismissing Google efforts to close the gender gap, according to the article, and there was a $310 million settlement. So where there's money, there are lawsuits, and when there are large groups of people together, there are disagreements. This is the nature of humanity, and that's okay. It's all part of the perfection. Google will set up a blockchain unit, according to CNET.com. Google is creating a group focused on the blockchain and other next-gen distributed computing and data storage technologies. It previously only provided cloud services to companies working with blockchain tech, but they're moving in that direction. And so blockchain, NFTs, yep. Do you feel old yet? Because these things are going to be ubiquitous shortly. Exclusive TikTok owner ByteDance's 2021 sales growth 70% slows year over year, which is interesting because TikTok to me is all the rage. TikTok owner ByteDance saw its total revenue grow by 70% year over year to around $58 billion in 2021, according to Reuters.com. The figures, were disclosed to a small group of employees at an internal meeting of the social media giant this week. So yeah, I take it back. They are, so their growth is slowing, but it's still 70%. Yeah, okay. it's not really fine. It's slowing, but I'm telling you, if you're not on TikTok, it's time. It's not going anywhere, and it is a fantastic platform. I'm a big fan. Let's recap the social media news of the day, shall we? Google is building an AR headset. They're getting in the game, and it's going to be good. I have faith in Google, even though they had a flopped Google Lens. It was too early. They were trying to get to it too early. But this next round, I'm bullish on. Google Dragonscale, solar-powered roofs. We're going to have very interesting architecture in the next few years as solar becomes less of something that you plunk on a roof after the fact and more so something that is built in to the structure itself. TheVerge.com, Meta, Facebook, Instagram plan to show and sell NFTs. I'm saying it's going to be completely commonplace in short order. So if that's a path you want to go down, by all means, go down it. Google's not immune to mental health crises. Turns out that working for a tech giant is tricky. And my heart goes out to everyone that is feeling suicidal, whether you be a president of a company or a homeless person, doesn't matter to me. My heart goes out to you. Google will set up a blockchain unit. Yeah, well, blockchain is everything. And last but not least, oh no, TikTok growth has slowed to 70%. Ladies and gentlemen, Send It Rising is the name of the show, youtube.com/Send It Rising. I hope you are enjoying the content. If you are, do me a favor. If you're making it to the end of these episodes, you are one of quite a small number of people doing so. I genuinely appreciate it. There's so much content out there for you to enjoy. So for you to swing by this particular channel means the world to me. Thank you so much. And do me a favor, swing by youtube.com/Send It Rising. Hit that like button, thumbs up button. And we'll see y'all next time. Bye for now.